My name's Drew with Boys Overland, and today I've got AJ with Mothership Overland, and he's here to show off his brand new kitchen setup. You're probably familiar with him. You see him a lot on my channel. If you're not familiar with his curls, you might be familiar with his rig at this point. So before we check out the kitchen, I want to talk about AJ a bit more and ask him a few more questions. So to start off, AJ is one of my best friends, and I feel like that is obviously apparent if you watch my content. But the other thing is that AJ is the one that actually got me into off-roading. And so one of the questions, and a little bit of more of an interview style, is what inspired you to drag me out here? Because I remember where I was like, hey, I cannot drive the vehicle I'm currently driving. It's not safe. I need to do something else. And AJ was immediately like, get a truck. I need more space. Next thing, put a lift on it because I need my stuff to get out with me.
Yeah, so I just didn't have anyone to go off-roading with. I had like a couple friends in high school, but they weren't really into it. They just thought it was a fun thing to do, and they're all, you know, driving like buffoons. But so I didn't really have anyone that would consistently go off-roading with and go camping and overlanding. And I came up to school, I met Drew and his cousin, he's more of a rock crawler.
About 3 years ago now, right? 4 years?
About 4 years.
4 years now.
4 years now, yeah. His cousin John is a rock crawler. He likes rock crawling. So me and him kind of talked about all that stuff, and we drug him into it. And we stick more to like the overlanding, you know, lighter trails type of scene, where he's going on, you know, level 8, 9 trails. But
it's pushing 40s and we're pushing 33s.
Yeah.
So eventually 35s with more money and time for the both of us, I'd say.
Yeah.
So AJ, what is your year, make, Bronco? What's happening on the front end of this car?
So this is a 22 6th gen Bronco. I got 2.3 liter 4-cylinder with the 7-speed manual. Unfortunately, I don't have any suspension upgrades yet. It's coming soon. Up here.
And what do you plan to do with the suspension?
I'm getting a 2.5-inch lift with the Dobinson MRR struts. Icon, you know, front suspension, upper control arms, and in the rear, I'm gonna do a rock crawler triangulated 4-link suspension. Get rid of my track bar, give me some more articulation in the back. You know, because IFS, you need as much articulation as you could get. Here is just like some random bull bar accessory I bought off Amazon. But here I have mounted some Morimoto HXB 4-bangers. And right here, I'm loving these. I just got these at the Overland Expo. These are Nacho's Supreme Adventures. Super bright, super nice. But I could use a magnet to change whether I'm, you know, doing a combo beam, just the flood, just the spot, or I could have, and then there's low power modes of all of those, and then a strobing, you know, backlight, all that stuff.
Okay. So with the overlanding, what inspired you to get into overlanding? What inspired you to particularly want to cook outdoors? If there was someone that got you into it, or if you've just always liked being the camp group cook, those kind of things. And then we'll go check out that kitchen. So
yeah, so getting into overlanding and off-roading in general, I'm not entirely sure when that started. When I was younger, when I was a kid, I lived in California, and I'd watch Trail Recon. I think was one of the first like off-road YouTubers that got me into it. And I'd watch a lot of his stuff, you know, going around to different places. I'm like, I grew up in Boy Scouts, so I love camping and all that stuff. So I'm like, really started getting deep into the overland off-road scene. And I think through watching his videos and seeing all this stuff that like Marco would cook up, and him being the group chef. And around that time, I started growing a liking to cooking in general and being like a home cook and cooking for my family and stuff. And just like all my friends, we'd invite people over. And I think that just like all combined, like got me into wanting to do this. All right, so this is my kitchen rig right here. This is version 2. My first iteration was a little different, more or less the same. It was made out of plywood, but I didn't like that because it was super heavy, made a lot of noise. So I got this aluminum extrusion. But let's get into it. So right here I got some locking drawer slides into my main stove. Is a Coleman Peak 1. I really like this thing because it's nice and slim. I don't have to open it up and flip out a bunch of panels and stuff. It's just ready to go. I hook it up to a quick connect propane tank. And right here I got a sink and then all my storage. So back here, I just keep some, basic, plates. I got cups, coffee makers. I have this one, which is from Vessel. I love this thing. It is a pour over coffee maker. So you got your cups, all your pour over stuff is on the inside. Fits nice together really nicely. Woo! All right, we're gonna cut that out. We got this right here. I got just like a small little Italian style espresso, which I really like. Super easy to make a quick cup if I'm by myself or just in a smaller group. Right here, this is a newer thing to me. I have a Waterport Weekender day tank, and this is a water spout. So I will put my water tank here, and this has suction cups and a spout that'll feed into the sink when I'm washing dishes, need to fill something up for coffee or whatever. Let's see, over here, I have just a hose for my water. I keep my Light Ranger tripod here, and then I have a knife roll, and this just has a few different types of knives. I got a cleaver, chef's knife, and then cooking utensils, spoons, spatulas, whatever. Yeah, so I am running a APL Iceco APL 55. I love that fridge. It's got probably a little overkill, a little too much room for what I need, but came in handy a few weeks ago. We went camping. I was feeding about 11 people on the trip, so it was a lot of food I had to stuff in there. And I was able to fill it up entirely and had no more space in that fridge. And I have their drawer slide that I rigged up to be able to tilt. So I just put a piano hinge right here on the front and some limiter straps in the back so that it's able to tilt down and I'm able to access it a lot easier. Right here, I have a spice rack. All my spices. I love camping outdoors, or I love cooking outdoors. So I got all my spices. Back here is where I have my propane tank I keep in the back. And then I have 2 batteries. I have a EcoFlow River 2 Pro, which is 720 watt hours if I'm not mistaken. And that I use to power my fridge mainly. I'll use it for backup power, whatever I need. But that's mainly designated just for the fridge. I just installed this right here, which is a nice little plastic molly panel to mount so I could tie my my propane tank and stuff to it. I have a bag that goes next to my propane tank that I keep all my pots and pans in. Let's see, up here, I have this platform, and I have a CDO crate mounted up here with all of my recovery gear in it. So super easy to grab. I have all my recovery gear nice and organized in there. I put in some foam so I could keep it organized, keep it from rattling, reduce noise as much as possible. I use pocket screws to hold it together. I barely use any glue. So all the screws over time came loose after hitting some hard trails, and it was just rattling around a bunch. It started squeaking, just making a lot of noise. That's the main reason I switched to the aluminum extrusion. It's a lot more sturdy. I got 40/40 for the main structure of it, 40 millimeter. And then for the rest of it, I just got 20 millimeter square tubing with the T-slots in it. Makes it really easy to mount, attach your brackets and everything.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you also built all of this in your garage, right?
Yeah, I built it all in my garage.
So all done at home, he's built this entire thing.
Yeah, it's inspiration came a lot from Trail Recon, a video he posted like probably 6-7 years ago. Him and his buddy Marco were building out an aluminum extrusion kitchen in the back of his Jeep at the time. And ever since I saw that video years ago, I've been wanting to do this. And I finally got around to doing it this last year. I don't have much storage going on here. I just throw stuff. But my big thing that I just installed that I really like is if you could get the camera down in there. I got the EcoFlow 800 watt alternator charger, and that just helps keep my batteries topped off. I also keep a Coleman camp table over here for when I'm cooking and stuff. Up here up front, I have a track form dash mount. I have a little 2-in-1 radio mount. I could have my little handheld, or if I needed, I have my hard mounted one that'll slide in there just as well. And then,
And this is Midland system?
yeah, I have this Midland, what is this? The 275. And then this is their new GXT 67 Pro. And I'm really liking this thing. It's the first time I'm using it on this trip. Works really well.
Hey guys, so we didn't get to film an outro on the trail because it started raining. We had to get packed up and get moving pretty quickly. But if you like seeing me and my rig, come hop aboard the Mothership. Find me on Instagram at Mothership Overland. I got some big performance and suspension upgrades coming, so come follow along with that. If you like this style content, consider subscribing down below. You could also find Donk Boys Overland on TikTok and Instagram. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.